Alhamdulillah. So let's move on to the power of unlearning.
Yeah,
What is this unlearning? We never heard of it. It's becoming more common now. People are kind of hearing this word that we need to unlearn and then we need to learn new things. The important points we want to discuss in under this umbrella is how to recognize generational patterns, the courage to question,
yeah,
which I know that we weren't allowed to. Like, how's it always been done? Why am I doing what I'm doing?
right,
Why is my behavior like that? And why is my child responding a certain way? So, asking all sorts of questions and letting go of control based or fear based parenting philosophies. Like, there is a good balance between fear and love. So
right.
let's discuss more about these things, inshallah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I think once you come to the step of this is an important step, I have to, become very conscious, conscious parent. So then, you start reflecting on what kind of parents, you had and what kind of relationship you had with your parents, and try to, look at it at a like a, from a outsider's perspective. It's going to be hard. This can be a painful painful process, because there is always linkage with with pain you've gone through,
Mhm.
especially if there are unpleasant experiences. So, if possible, just keep yourself as more like a, observationist, and just observe the, that pattern which happened in your own life with your parents, and see how it was. You can so three important, types I will just, explain to you, so you can try to figure out which pattern it fits in. One thing is, your caregiver, most likely your mom, or your dad, or if anyone else in grandparents or anyone else who's involved in your care and spend a lot of time with you in your childhood. See what their uh, 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 behavior was. Were they very anxious? Were they always kind of, sure about things or not sure about things? Would they get very scared about how to take care of you? Are they kind of not able to make, decisions, wavering? So that is kind of one pattern which you want to see, if because again that has a profound effect on, your development as well. And most likely you'll probably find that you also have gotten those behaviors.
Behaviors.
So
So
the
that's,
anger.
so is it called anxious
Yes,
parenting?
yes, anxious
The
parent. And
parents are anxious themselves and they transfer all that energy into the child,
yeah,
and the child
absolutely.
becomes an anxious person as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So they call ambivalent, attachment,
Mm,
because again, not sure about
not
this or that,
sure.
and very scared, not confident enough as to be a parent in
Mm,
the decisions, and
yeah.
we see quite of this in our joint family system. If everyone
Yeah.
is coming at it, you do this way, what are you doing? You're not right,
Yeah.
all that, and then
Yeah.
too much blaming on
Would
them.
you say, is it like lack of boundaries as well? Because you're letting everybody into your business, um, and sometimes you don't have a choice because, like you said, in a joint family system, it's hard to
Yeah,
stop our elders from interfering into our lives and our parenting styles.
yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you're kind of, before you do anything, you're worried whether what this person will say, what that person will say, and you just kind of not following your, because subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts the rahma in a mom. If the mom is left with a kid, without all these external pressures, she
Mhm.
naturally will bond and enjoy. It comes so naturally.
Yes.
But then these external pressures can really, create an impact, especially if they are, more of of the negative kind. So that is one pattern which you want to notice. This
So
second. Yeah,
So that's where the "log kya kahenge" thing comes in, right? We're always worried about what people are thinking about us. So any decision we make or any step we take, we're worried about others more than ourselves. We're worried about being accepted by the society more than how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be like. And that kind of makes it hard to be on the truth because the truth is going to be tough.
yes,
People are going to be against you when you're on the right path, and the true path and you want to follow the hook, people will be against you. And so you need to be very strong in that aspect. For a child to be raised in a environment where he's always being stopped, or I feel like that's what I relate to more because that's how I was raised. Like anyone would, and I was like this until much later, like even like up to my 35 years of age, I was okay letting people tell me how to live my life.
Mm.
And I would try all of those things. When I go think, when I go back and think about it, like I
So,
feel like a crazy person because a-
yeah.
anybody would come and tell me that do this, do this, do this, and I'm literally trying to do all of those, even the things that are clashing each other. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything for to achieve a certain result, subhanallah, which I never was able to achieve because it's impossible. It's impossible.
Mm.
You have to have the guts to be disliked.
Yeah.
So if you want your child to be strong, you need to make sure you're not anxious parenting, inshallah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next,
Yeah.
inshallah.
Yeah. So that's one, so just reflect on how your parents were or your, main caregiver was, see if that was the nature, and then see, did it impact you, and are you kind of mirroring them? So that will be one reflective type of parenting. The other one is that in case your caregivers were very, very, scared or very, very, terrified, then that is also going to, it's going that energy is going to, you will feel that energy as a baby, and you don't feel, you are like, you're unnerved as well. You're not in the comfort zone, as a baby, or if if there's abuse, as in your growing up, whether it's, physical abuse or whether there was emotional abuse, um, and so kind of you always felt as if, very in a threatened environment,
Mm-hmm.
was that kind of the um, uh, experience you had as a kid, and you will this might be more difficult, to go through, if you need help, use a life coach, or use a counselor to go through this, this reflecting if this is hard on you. So, this can be a little bit painful. Um, and what happens is that when you, are in that kind of a, if you grow up like that, then the behavior you respond is called, they call dissociative, in the sense, you, that's your caregiver. As a kid, they are supposed to give you the, safe environment and the secure, environment, but they themselves are either the cause of that, uh, issue on you, or abuse, or they're themselves scared of something else, or so scared of someone else that that energy is passing on to you. So you kind of like stuck between the, the cliff and the, the sea. So, you kind of learn to, um, not, you're not able to regulate yourself well. You kind of feel that you're having this sudden outburst. So there's lack of a normal integration of all the, all the systems in the brain, which usually help in a good emotional control and
Mm-hmm.
emotional regulation. So that is disrupted, basically. So this is
Yeah.
one important attachment, which is very, very disruptive and really
Yeah.
causes a lot of, if outbursts in you, difficulty in regulation. So if that's what you're finding, again, go and look back. Is that somewhere which came up in your when you were, growing up as a child?
Right.
And the third one is, your parent was, not there. There was no one to really, take care of you, or uh, address your emotional needs, or see you at a very, at a very young age. Whatever the reason be, whether they were, themselves involved in, a lot of their mental trauma, or, whatever they were going through, if
Mm-hmm.
they were not able to understand your emotions and, feel you, and show them, and you literally will see that, my mom is interested in, what I'm feeling. She's able to understand my feelings. So if you have not felt that, then that is, the neglectful, parenting experience which you
Mm-hmm.
could have had.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, you kind of might detach yourself from experiencing the inner emotions and feelings, and kind of more live in, the physical world and the logical world and the reality world. The empathy part, you might
Yeah.
find yourself, you don't want to address that, is there because you never experienced it, you never seen
Mhm.
that, you're not built that enough.
Yeah.
Your parent has not built those inner feelings enough within you. So these are
Right.
three kind of,
Yeah.
three major categories. So you can reflect on them and
Yeah.
see, is there any pattern, uh,
Yeah.
and is your behavior coming, fitting any of those, and is it the same thing which you're replicating to your parent, your kid as well.
Right. So, do you think dissociative and detached parenting, last two, they kind of exist together? It's possible.
It is very much so. Yes, if if the mom is terrified of something and her mind is just occupied of protecting herself from whatever is going on in the family or anything, then of course she's not going to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be
Neglectful.
present with you.
Yeah.
Very much, very much can go together.
Um,
Yeah,
Subhanallah. Yes, and that will create a child who is so self-dependent,
yeah,
uh, independent in their
independent.
life, that they are not going to accept any help, and they just want
Yeah,
to any problem. So these are two different personalities. It creates. It could create a perfectionist
right.
who, subhanallah, who thinks everybody's below me and I'm the best and this is my standard and everybody need to reach that standard. Or it could create somebody who just don't feel worthy of
Mhm.
asking for help, or being,
Yeah,
you know being open about themselves, because they just want to handle everything on their own.
right.
They're shy, they keep to themselves, they're enclosed within self, and that's a very suffocating place to be.
Yeah,
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 'cause as humans we need other people. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, subhanallah, you don't want your child to turn into that person. And that's why you need to reflect on your own parenting styles. If you have been displaying any of these behaviors, correct yourself right now.
yeah,
Right away, correct yourself. Inshallah, there's improvement. There will be improvement, inshallah. As soon as you are aware and you improve your actions and learn what to do instead, you will see an improvement in yourself and your child, inshallah. So, what would be the positive side of this? Like, what's our option then?
yeah. So
We don't want to do anxious parenting. We don't want to do neglectful parenting. We don't want to do the disassociative parenting. So, what do we need to do?
so the best parenting is the one which, in case your parents have recognized you, they acknowledge your feelings, and then at the same time they're teaching you, then your feelings are right, but this is the world, this is a reality. This is again, if they have taught you the Islamic philosophy, this is the world, this is a test by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so here the challenges are going to be there, and this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to behave in these situations. So if they are there with you in those early formative years, both acknowledging your feelings, as well as giving you that this is the reality, and this is a
Mhm.
test, and this is right ways are also instructed to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if
Yeah,
that's going to be the safe and the safe and secure
secure
parenting style.
parenting.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
that will give you very, very, very solid, very resilient kids in the
Yes.
sense the kids will be able to, face
Yeah.
any challenge which comes,
Inshallah.
which the test, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
Inshallah.
brings in front of them,
Hmm.
the contribution to themselves, their family, the community, is going to, be there, and what Islam teaches is entirely how to do that. So
Yeah.
the Prophet ﷺ, example, comes to mind here.
Hmm.
These safe and secure parenting. When the little kid who lost the little bird, right, whose little bird died. Prophet ﷺ, visited the kid and spent some time. Just he didn't have speak much, but that just acknowledged his feelings. So he very, very clearly did that.
Yeah.
Um, So I think if we just follow the Sunnah and the Quran, it just teaches us to do the secure parenting actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very balanced approach. So, Like I tell parents, it's okay. You're going to, you know, there's going to be times where you won't be able to control yourself, but those times need to be very few times,
Exactly.
not all the time.
Right.
Because if all the time you're just blowing up, if all the time you're losing your control, if all the time you're just choosing yourself over your child, then what is the message the child is receiving from you? That he's not wanted, she's not wanted in the life, she is not important. Yes, as parents, when children do enter in our life, it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it is a huge responsibility and a test, because that tiny soul is given you to take care. So, majority of your parenting life, you have to prioritize your children over yourself. And you will only do that if you um, are conscious again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, taking care of yourself and your